$75 for an hour. Hello, good evening. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. You were right on time. Oh, you're here too? Okay, good. Because if you weren't here, no, not them, you. You just showed up. I'm grateful that you're here. Okay. Thank you for tapping on that screen. Thank you for being here. Thank you for slowing down, taking a deep breath. We're going to have a special introvert evening nighttime session going into this new week, going into your new identity, going into your new chapter. I want to share some things with you. Got some good stuff going on. What's up, Dylan? Nice to see you. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being kind to yourself. All right. And I'm going to talk about awareness. There's been a lot of shifts and changes in your lives, and a big part of this is starting to give awareness to the fact that when you ask for change, when you ask for transformation, what's going on, Stella? When you ask for change, when you ask for transformation, when you internally or externally say that you've had enough, things change and things shift. And you want to be able to really understand this awareness so that you know what to do with it instead of that typical fear or frustration when things go in the old familiar way. All right. So I do appreciate you. If you want to, you can take notes. You should be able to swipe away from this and go into your notes section in your phone, and you can take notes and really, really learn something. I've been on this journey for over a decade. What I discuss is emotional intelligence, and this is something that they never have told us before in school, so I want for you to be excited, because if you are somebody who has a purpose, drop an emoji or say yes. If you feel like you have a purpose in this world, if you feel like you want to do something and stop judging other people and stop resenting yourself and stop trolling and stop being frustrated and stop being miserable and stop being irritated by this other person, there's a way to navigate out of this, and it's being able to identify. You saw things which created the emotional story, and that's been creating the pattern. So what's up, Auntie? What's up, Liz? What's up, everybody? All right, so let's get into it. The power of awareness. The power of awareness. All right. So, what's up, Mary? Nice to see you. The first thing when it comes to awareness, to get into a healthier baseline. All right. If you're just gonna troll, dude, I got you. All right. I love you. I appreciate you. I know. It's uncomfortable. We're gonna work through it though. All right. So the first thing to really get is accepting the fact that you don't know where you're going and you don't know the outcome of what you're doing. And this doesn't have to be a bad thing before you scroll away, because this brings up fear and you just want to distract yourself. What's up, JD? Do you get this? Glicks, I got you. Do you get this though? Do you really get this? Like, do you really get when you're living, when you're loving, when you're trying, when you're getting better, when you're working, when you're unemployed, when people are judging you, when people are staring at you, all these different concepts that bring up different emotions and thoughts, really deeply and profoundly get that you don't know where you're going. And the reason why I bring this to your attention is because in my world, in my story, very, very, very much always driven to entertainment and being on big stages. Always felt like I wanted to do something to inspire people, to motivate people. And a lot of times it was through music, it was through art, it was through TV and film, right? Like it was creative stuff. Probably like some people in here, drop an emoji or say yes if you've had a lot of jobs. And so, or you've done a lot of different things, like you're a jack or you're a Jill of all trades, right? And so I just knew that I wanted to do something that created a purpose. What I realized through the lens of awareness is that I really started to realize that I didn't know how I was going to get there, because I would meet people that were successful that liked me. I would have successes. I would hit these glass ceilings. I would meet really cool people. I would meet people from all different walks of life who would appreciate my conversation, but yet I still kept on finding myself hitting these glass ceilings and hitting these glass walls. And then I started to realize that there was one thing that I was really missing in my life, that I wasn't checking in with myself enough. I wasn't having enough awareness, Dylan. And so the more that I started to check in with myself and really start to live with, I want for awareness to be almost like the clothing that I wear. I want for awareness to be the water that I drink, the food that I eat, of like, this is survival, this is thriving, this is changing the chapter, this is creating a new character and really stepping into that new space, because we're starting to identify that we're hitting these glass ceilings, we're hitting these walls, we're hitting these frustrations, and we want to be able to learn from it and do something with it. All right. So why focus on awareness? Why focus on awareness? All right. Awareness is essential in our lives because awareness is key to understanding ourselves better, really getting that there's more options for you. Okay. Again, awareness creates value. And if you grew up without value, and if your feelings weren't valued, and if your thoughts weren't valued, that's why you troll and ask pointless questions on the live stream instead of actually taking notes and realizing that you're enough and that Nikki loves you and you don't have to ask pointless questions and you can actually boss up and level up. And I appreciate your enthusiasm asking me about soda, right? Like, I appreciate that, right? But like, see if you can actually get something from this, because I appreciate how much you like to ask pointless questions to get attention and just to crack jokes. But like, you don't have to do that, right? So awareness is being able to really go into different spaces and to really be comfortable in that uncomfortable space, right? Okay, I got you. No nerves get struck, just awareness. No awareness, no nerves get struck. No nerves get struck. We're just having awareness. We're talking about it, right? Awareness is being able to understand constantly. Like, for example, when I'm communicating with somebody and I'm sharing something and I'm just lovingly, because I've been there before, it's relatability. Another person can say, this dude is insecure and he's intimidated. And then there's emotions that get brought up, right? But like, the thing is that we don't understand, we can't prove this. When we judge other people, when we doubt other people, when we bring our thoughts into reality, a lot of times we can't prove it. So awareness leads you to start to say, hey, Nikki, when you said that to that person, I was almost about to judge you and think that you were insecure, but I can't really prove that. What did that bring up for you? And I would say, yeah, man, I realize a lot of times guys have a hard time talking about feelings and emotions. And a lot of times we mask our sadness and our anger with jokes and laughter and coping mechanisms. And I know what that's like, to really give other people laughter and smiles and hope, and to feel broken and empty inside. And drop an emoji or say yes if you get what I'm saying, right? And so awareness really starts to help you understand that your friends might not be your long-term friends, and the person that you're judging might be closer than you think, right? So it's really getting awareness is understanding yourself better, improving your relationship. Like, I've caught myself when I first started dating my now wife, I would catch her talking and I would catch myself being frustrated. And then I would catch myself after that and saying, dude, you're with somebody who loves you. Why are you irritated about this? People would trade places. Why are you so frustrated about this? That's when I started learning about the father wound. So when you haven't had a strong, balanced father, masculine kind of energy in your life, somebody to really give you this feeling of like balanced understanding and perspective about work ethic, you will catch yourself never being able to enjoy moments, never being able to enjoy what you have. Drop an emoji or say yes or comment if you feel like this is showing up for you. And this isn't just a guy thing. This is a human thing. Women, a lot of times, men would be surprised if they knew how often women had to go into that space of working so many different jobs while raising kids, while trying to find out their identity, right? And so the more that I was able to have this awareness of, why am I frustrated? Why am I annoyed by this? I should be able to enjoy it. What's showing up for me? What's up, J-Dub? Nice to see you. Okay. So it's also being able to make healthier and smarter decisions. Have you been able to, in this year, catch yourself being annoyed by somebody and then you hit that emergency brake of like, ooh, you almost got me. Ooh, you almost got me. Oh man, I almost did that, but I did this instead. Has that been showing up in your life recently? Good. That's what's up, Eric. Nice to hear that. Good, Stephanie. Winners celebrate winners. That's what's up. Hey, Auntie. Nice to see you. Right? Good, Carrie. All right. So the more that you're able to actually have awareness of your awareness, this helps you acknowledge your progress. And when you have awareness that you're changing and shifting and you give it more conscious attention, this is why you're noticing that it's getting slightly easier for you to move out of anxiety or judgment or resentment or frustration. The more consciousness and the more attention that you give to this is where you're really going to start being able to make healthier choices for yourself, actually leave that job if you feel disrespected, or get that promotion instead of being like, why do other people always get the other thing and that's not fair? Or actually being able to enjoy where you're at instead of constantly pretending that you're okay, silently suffering, and looking at other people who feel like they have it figured out. Okay, so awareness is where the magic happens, and without awareness, can you identify that you have been making repeated choices that are unhealthy? Surely I haven't really checked my DMs today. Typically Sundays and Mondays are my off day. Are you noticing that you argue in the relationship, or you argue with your kids, or you have intrusive thoughts? And I was talking with my wife about this earlier today. The reason why I'm so focused on this and the reason why I'm giving this so much attention is because you could be relaxing in your bed, starting off your day or going to bed, and then all of a sudden you watch a video and you get annoyed by what you're seeing on this video. And then just like that, there's a frustration. And then without even realizing it, somebody that you know or care for speaks to you in a certain way, and then you get irritated because somehow in some way, shape, or form there's a thought that's showing up in your subconscious mind. And so without even realizing it, you create this negative ripple effect of like, I'm frustrated, but then I get around other people and I smile and I show that I'm okay. Huge awareness, Liz. I actually did voiceover work for a while. It's like you have to like go to brunch with them every single Sunday and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. Thank you. And a lot of the reason why I'm doing this also is because one of my short-term goals is I'm saving up while I'm raising 3 children and have a pregnant wife. I'm raising up to get that studio so I can give you more meditations and affirmations and more content and all that jazz. But thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So awareness is helping you understand why other people do what they do. Like, can you actually consider the fact if other people are irritating you, that they have a whole different story? Like, can you actually really, truly, deeply, profoundly understand that people love you, but they don't always know how to say that? People care about you, but they don't always know how to say that. People are even intimidated by you, but they don't know how to say it. Assume that people love you and respect you and hired you for a reason, and they get frustrated because they see something that you don't, or they're saying something to you because they see greatness within you and you're misinterpreting it. Like, I'm raising 3 boys. One of them was getting frustrated because the younger one was being irritating. And the younger one was saying, the reason why I was making fun of the fact that you're attracted to this girl is because eventually you're going to move out and I'm going to be alone and I'm not going to be around you. I'm going to be sad. And the older brother was irritated by it originally. And he shifted his whole conversation and his whole perspective because of that awareness, because 2 parents who have awareness can slow down and say, hey, what thought is going on right now? Just bringing up this emotion that has you take this action. Like my beautiful wife will say, the acronym is TEA. The thought creates the emotion creates the action. Okay? So the more that you're able to focus on awareness and really start journaling and really start meditating and really start creating a safe space, a private space to step away, to reflect on daily, I can show you, and I can guarantee you, in fact, that when you take time away from other people and you really start to look at your life to say, this is a pattern, this is my training. I want to have the best relationship, or I want to have the best career. I want to be able to enjoy my life. Everything that annoys me or frustrates me is training me to really be able to step into that beautiful home, to step into that beautiful job, to be able to let go of the expectations of others and to actually go into leadership. All right. So there she is right there. Make sure you follow my wife. All right. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever reacted impulsively only to regret it later because you weren't fully aware of your feelings or the situation? Call yourself out. You're not in trouble. You're a leader. You're a champion. That happened to me all the time in my toxic abusive relationship that I was in, all the time. And when I actually started having more awareness and started stepping into leadership and started asking questions instead of reacting with fear or insecurity or being passive aggressive and really being able to directly communicate, everything changed. Realized I was wasting my time, learned the lesson, left that relationship, started trusting my intuition. Now I get paid for my pain. Now my pain creates purpose. Now I can actually help other people and work with people from all over the world and tell you, you're a storyteller. But a lot of the reason why you don't like where you're going is because the lack of awareness based on wanting validation, or a lot of times you're proving. Never got the love from dad, never got the recognition from dad. And so I'm going to work and I'm going to hustle and I'm going to prove. And every time that somebody says, hey, I don't like what you're doing. Hey, I don't like how you're thinking. Hey, I don't like how you're speaking. Hey, I don't like that you're taking more time for yourself. You go, ugh, and you feel it and you take that hit and you swallow that. And that creates sickness and that creates stress and that creates dis-ease and that creates inflammation. And so there's a way out of this. I mean, for 39 years old, I'm telling you, like, my healing, my beauty secret is being able to confront these stories and these emotions. How do you stay away from a toxic relationship? You take baby steps. You start off with awareness that you're in a toxic relationship, and then you start to have awareness of, let me identify the choices that I'm making and actually identify there's other choices. All right, so what is awareness? For those of you that are taking notes, and also if you want to break that toxic cycle,
Mom, should I take this stuff out of my ear? Echo. Off.
just in case you doubted that I was a father. And we love technology, okay? Yo, could you imagine growing up in the 90s and the 2000s and having Alexa and stuff like that to be able to help you and to find stuff? Okay, so what is awareness? Speaking of awareness, my wife's able to take care of that, and then awareness that everybody's interpreting that differently, and then awareness of how I'm feeling, and then awareness that I can, because I had an awareness and I had a conversation with my wife, so there's boundaries that we set so that everything runs smoothly, because communication is an art form. Word, all the announcements. Okay. Yes. Toxic relationships are relationships. That's non-romantic. That's at work. That's coworkers. That's parents. That's everybody that you relate to. Okay, so what is awareness? Awareness is the active recognition of your emotions, your thoughts, your behaviors, and environment. I'm going to say that one more time because I know people really do take notes. Awareness is the active recognition of your emotions, your thoughts, your behaviors, and your environment. Just like right there, I'm having a conversation with you. My wife's like, hey, I'm going to do some computer laptop work. She's hanging out, and then all of a sudden our middle child is having some health concerns and stuff like that, because there's always like some new weird bug thing that's going on or whatever. I check in with my thought. I hear the volume's loud. My wife hears that the volume's loud. She has the thought. She checks in. She finds a solution for it. I'm aware of what's going on and that there's other people involved, so I can take that deep breath and be back to being present with you and avoid any feelings of I'm guilty or I'm ashamed or I'm insecure or I'm a burden or, oh no, other people have opinions about me, right? So awareness is being able to get that when you are self-aware, when you are environmentally aware, when you are socially aware, when you're aware, like think of it like this, and drop an emoji or say yes or comment to let me know if you're getting this and what you think about this. Imagine if you're in a movie theater, and imagine that there's all these different, like you're in a what's that called? Movie theater, and then there's the complex. There's like the huge where they show all the movies. Anyway, okay, you know what I'm talking about. ADHD. So you're at this movie theater and you want to go see all the IMAX. 4K HD, scratch and sniff. Right? And so you're going to this movie theater because you want to see what's up, Yogi. You want to see this specific movie. That's your story. That's your movie. That's your perspective. Then, in a hypothetical scenario that normally you wouldn't do, you realize that you want to see this other movie next door because the sound effects sound cool or there's music that sounds cool. So you're watching this movie, and then all of a sudden you go over to this next movie theater and you were just watching like an action adventure movie. You're like, wow, that was crazy. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden you're in like this romantic drama scene and everybody in there is like crying, or it's like Lion King back in the day where they're like, Simba, Dad, Father, ooh, and they're like, oh my God, Simba's gonna be fatherless. And even Tupac back in the day was crying because it was so sad, right? You're in, you're in a different movie, okay? You're in a different movie. And in your marriages and in your relationships and in work and in your day-to-day life, you're in your movie, and other people, I love that you love, okay? Thank you. Being an empath is a superpower. You feel people's laughter too. So the more that you're able to get this concept of there's my story, there's your story, there's our collective story, there's so many different forms of awarenesses, and this is where life becomes a game. So awareness is where the magic and transformation happens. Awareness of father wounds, for example, I started when I really got into this relationship. I was used to being in New York, and for those of you that have been to New York before, you know it's money-making Manhattan. You know that it's go, 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 hustle, 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 push, 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 prove, prove, prove. And I'm over there doing what I'm doing, and I'm being aware, and I got this new career, and I'm finally trusting myself. I ended a 10-year toxic abusive relationship. I'm able to really trust my intuition, feeling good, just really being able to move and make my decisions, know my budget, know my strategy and everything. Then I have this awareness that I can't be in New York anymore because I feel like Batman in Gotham City, and I'm tired of every single time that I walk outside, I feel like I need to protect people. And so I made these difficult choices, trusted my intuition, took it step by step, and now I'm in Nevada, right? Like I'm in a whole new state and mind state. So because of this new shift and this awareness, I'm noticing, because my old story, my old identity, which all of us, and call yourself up, put an emoji or say yes if you're actually changing yourself's concept, and if you're actually questioning and changing your identity in a powerful, exciting way, and you're really on your self-discovery journey, like claim it and own it and don't be ashamed to show it, like really get the loving people celebrate you, right? And so my old identity and old story was I didn't have a father, so I need to double down and work triple time and quadruple time in order to prove that I can be a provider and be a man. I also had abandonment wounds from childhood, and I saw my family split up, so I had double abandonment wounds. I had people that left me and passed away, and I had trauma, and so I didn't want to let the people that I was in this home and in this relationship with down because they had also experienced trauma. So there was a lot of guilt showing up, and when I would just wake up and go and make my choices and make my decisions, right? And then there's the economy, then there's the world changing, there's all these changes that are going on. So my wife and the kids that I'm raising start to communicate with me in this way of like, hey, like you're like, we appreciate you and we love you, but you don't have to work so hard. We're going to find a way to make sure that the bills are paid. You don't have to punish yourself when the kids are arguing. This is healthy. There was a lot of my past wounds that I was projecting into this scenario, feeling like I'm going to disappoint them because they've been around men that disappoint them and abuse and neglect and shame and project all that stuff, right? And so the more that I was able to slow down and realize, this is my father wound. This is that part of me when you lack that masculine energy, when you lack the concept of, hey, like you're going to work and you're going to be driven and you're going to want to do something in this world. You either get the healthy conversation, which now I'm teaching to these kids to say, hey, work smart, be driven, have a good work ethic, but don't punish yourself. And if you're like me, and if you grow up in a space where you had a neglectful father or an absent father or a toxic father, whatever your story is, you will never be able to enjoy what you have. And that shows up in your marriages, and it shows up in your work, and it shows up in friendships. It's challenging to actually appreciate what you have. And if it's really traumatizing, you're constantly sword and shield defending yourself because you're always ready. Versus, thank you, JD, love back to you. So the more that you're able to actually slow down and realize what's going right, what can I enjoy, this is awareness. So now, because I have this awareness that I'm appreciating my family, now the kids are showing more love to me. They feel more confident. My wife feels more confident. She feels more heard. She's stepping into her power. I keep on connecting with God, and he's like, get out your wife's way and just trust her. I'm like, okay, you got it, right? And so the way that you're actually able to start slowing down and just being aware of, I'm irritated. Why is this small thing irritating me? Why is this comment on social media having that much impact on me? Why do I need to battle with people to prove that I'm right and they're wrong? Like, I do my best not to look at politics on my feed, but every single side of politics within certain content creators, they laugh at the other side, and we are dividing brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and potential friends and allies and just loving relationships. Look at how stupid they are. Look at how stupid they are. Look at how stupid they are. And I'm like, yo, this is a game and everybody's getting hustled, right? Why do people take pleasure in seeing other people hurt and fall? And the more that you're able to have this awareness, this is really where you're able to step into your power. So, how awareness functions, the mechanics of awareness. The mechanics of awareness. All right, so let's get into it. Mechanics of awareness for those of you taking notes. And thank you, by the way, for the taps. Thank you for the gifts. And thank you for all of you who communicate not only with me, but also communicate with each other, because this is family and this is never about me. And I want for you to feel included, and I want for you to feel heard and seen and loved, and to know that there's other people like you. So I really do appreciate that sincerely. Okay, so awareness operates through processes like attention, perception, and cognition. Big note. Big note. What you have seen created your reality. That's perception of reality. How you believe reality to be. Like recently with clients, what I've been sharing, and Shirley, I'm not seeing all the comments, but I do appreciate you communicating and commenting. What I've been communicating with clients recently is, think of it like this. Let's say, for example, you're a woman and you grew up in a toxic home where there was arguing or fighting or whatever, and you're noticing that now that you're an adult, you're attracting relationships that are similar to that, and you're perceiving life in a similar way, and it's frustrating you. You don't know how to escape. Consider that you saw that and normalized that as a child. So if you, for example, saw your mom accepting abuse, accepting neglect, not communicating, not setting boundaries, not really taking time to see the other side of the story, you can find yourself repeating these patterns over and over again. Cognition is your brain. It's your brain function. It's how your mind operates. It's how you think. Good question. Thank you for that. Right? And so if you grew up next door in a hypothetical scenario, and this is how I also use emotional intelligence, by the way, to change my way of thinking, to say, what would happen if I was in a different scenario? What if I perceived this differently? So if you grew up next door and there was a healthy, balanced relationship, you would see two parents that are arguing, and then you would see healthy arguments. Like, for example, my wife and I, when we get into disagreements, it's, oh man, you're reminding me of when I was a child and my mom's tone of voice. This is, wow, this memory just showed up for me. And I never really processed how much frustration that brought to me. That must have created a big emotion for me and a story for me. And I'm going to take time. I'm going to take a few days to take a look at it and to identify it. I can apologize for the overreaction or for being stubborn, not being aware. I can actually have a call to action. And then what's interesting is this shows up in other aspects of my life. And she can say, oh yeah, you know, when you said it that way and that way, that reminded me of how my dad used to speak to me, but I know that you're not my father and I know that you're not like that. And she gets to learn and she gets to heal. So they lie to us and have us think the relationships are supposed to be perfect and you're never supposed to argue and your kids are never supposed to see arguments. You actually learn from the arguments. In the same way, if your mother in this hypothetical scenario was in a toxic relationship with a man who was either just traumatized or just emotionally unaware or just toxic or abusive in any way, shape, or form, the healthy version of your mom would say, I don't deserve to be treated like this. And you need to take care of yourself. And until you actually do take care of yourself, I'm going to go stay at my friend's. I've gotten another job. I'm moving out. I'm going to stay at a place for a month. I'm staying at this hotel. When you're ready to actually take accountability for your actions, then we can have a conversation. And then the kids, AKA you and me, learn that that's not acceptable. So what's up, Christina? So we actually get to see what works and what doesn't work. Right? So marry good awareness. So this is where emotional intelligence can actually help you to identify there's a way to change your beliefs through the lens of awareness. Right? There's so much that we're unaware of. There's so much, like, for example, one of the seminars that I went to years and years and years ago, and I did a couple classes, and then it got very intense, and they're very forceful and pushy, but I learned something from it. One of the programs that I went to was called Landmark, right? Because I've been on this journey for over a decade. And one of the things that Landmark talked about is there's what you know that you know, and spirituality talks about this, Buddhism talks about this, Christianity talks about this, right? Like Hinduism talks about this, just in different ways, shapes, and forms. But there's what you know that you know, there's what you know that you don't know, then there's what you don't know that you don't know. So I know that I know my name. I know that I know my patterns. I know that I don't know certain languages, right? Like I know that I don't know how to fly a plane, right? And then there's what you don't know that you don't know. So there's intentions that you and I have as humans. There's experiences that we've had as humans. We don't know that it's affected us, right? So there's blind spots that we have as humans. And so the more that you're really able to get, maybe there's even having the awareness right now. If you're open to it, because somebody in here could actually say this and doors could open up and your life could change. I want to challenge you to consider the fact that there's a level of happiness that's possible for you that you haven't experienced yet. I really want for you to consider this and really get this. There was like, look at me. Like when you look at pictures of me when I'm like 30 years old, I look unhealthy. I'm 39. I feel like I look healthier and healthier and healthier. And I feel like I love growing up. I'm like, why do they shame us for having gray hairs? I even reverse my gray hairs by releasing and relieving the stress and by thinking differently. Right? And so the more that you're able to really understand, there's a level of happiness and joy that you haven't experienced yet. But here's where we hustle ourselves and where we lie to ourselves and where we play ourselves, Tana and everybody. We think if we keep on smiling to other people that we're going to get there. We hear this lie of fake it till you make it. We hear this story of you have to hustle, and when you have 7 figures and a big home and your kids never argue and you never argue in your relationship and your parents clap their hands and everybody's proud of you. Like if you actually slow down and take a look at the roadmap that you have to success, it's not possible. Consider the fact, love that gratitude. Consider the fact, for me personally, and I've seen this within the clients that I work with and people that I personally know, the way that you actually get to true happiness, long-term, like unconditional, regardless, long-term happiness, long-term joy, because I still have anxiety. I still have emotions. I'm human. I'm not a robot. When you confront the sadness, when you are aware that there is sadness and you stop caring that people see you crying and you own it because your body's like, help, I can't take this anymore, release this. When you actually have awareness of anger and you breathe into it and lean into it and actually take a look at it and make sure that you don't give it away to other people, you can actually do something with that and learn something from that and heal from that and become a powerful teacher and a leader from that space. Then, because you are learning how to remove all of these stories, that's where it's natural for you to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where it's natural for you to actually win and to have gratitude and to have love. And then you get the conversation of when you love yourself, you love everybody. So you could, for example, when you really have awareness and you really know your emotions and you really know your story, you could be talking to somebody who is a CEO who's worth $10 billion, that has no emotional intelligence at all, that lacks empathy, that's all about, I never had a loving mom and a loving dad, so I'm going to screw everybody over because nobody ever cared about me, and I'm going to have power so nobody could ever hurt me, because even though I wear these tailored Italian suits, there's a traumatized 5-year-old underneath all of this. And you can actually, through the lens of awareness and knowing how to use emotional intelligence, become an equal with this person and realize that they don't have power over you, that they're just as human as you. They have more layers and masks and walls. They have what I call Wizard of Oz syndrome, where they're just a little man with like a megaphone, and that they're human. And when you really, really get your story and know who you are, you actively listen to other people. And this person who's being mean and nasty and toxic with you, like when I'm telling people, if you like this message and want to know what I'm about at the baseline, I want to get in front of everybody to help you realize every single person that you hate and judge has a human story and has an emotional story and had a certain aspect of their life taken away from them. And so that's why they start to do what brings up frustration and judgment within you. And the more that we're able to get this and understand this, every single person who doesn't respect your power feels powerless. Every single person who doesn't respect your hope and your love feels hopeless and loveless. And the more that you get that this brings up awareness within you, this gives you the capability to problem solve and get into leadership and to actually realize this is the greatest time to be alive. And if you have a marriage or people in your life who are bringing up irritation, there's a way to get past it. Okay. Also, before I go to the next part, there is something that we just uploaded tonight. I'm offering a special, $75 for 1 hour. If you really like this conversation and you want to do the deep dives, step by step by step, we're going to talk about awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills. If you really want to get how to have tools, fundamentals, principles, a healthy understanding. Is there somebody in your life that you're not actively listening? Is there another side of the story why you get frustrated when people judge you? Is there a way that you can check in with yourself and hear other people's stories? Haven't you noticed that your intuition is strong? Did you notice that when you get frustrated about people and the choices and you resent their choices, do you actually realize you're the most aware person in the entire environment and nobody ever gave you that light and that love and that acknowledgement, and that through science and emotional intelligence and having these principles and understandings, you can change it? So if you're interested, tap my top link in my bio. It's normally $125 for an hour. It's $50 off if you're a deal person. We're going to book the first session. I'm going to show you what emotional intelligence is based off of you without judgment, you in a safe space. Tell me your story. I'm taking notes. I'll show you how to connect the dots. I'll teach you how to have the awareness. I'll give you awareness of, hey, your body language said this. Your physical language said this. You have a belief system right there. There's a story right there that you just skipped past. So you can actually trust yourself, therefore trust others. Then you can trust your voice. Then you can trust that it's safe to slow down. Then you can actually enjoy your life. How will that show up for you? Tap that link, find out. All right, so perception of reality creates awareness. And also, because if your life has been trauma, or if your life has been perfect presentation, living in Bel Air, or if you grew up in poverty, or if you're in a part of the world where you have a story about your story and it's like a negative story, that's your whole world. And that's what you give attention to. For example, in 2016, when I was in Hollywood and I went through one of like the hardest years of my life, thank you, Treeland, for subscribing and supporting this page and for supporting this message. Thank you. I appreciate that. And you get cool emojis. I have graphic design. When I was in Los Angeles and I was really in like the depths of this abusive relationship, my car got repossessed, everything. I was questioning my whole entire existence and identity. I became an Uber driver. And this is really where I started learning and connecting with people from all different walks walks of life. And what was fascinating about being an Uber driver, it was like Uber therapy. You would hop into my car, there'd be classical music playing. You're looking at this dude with tattoos, like, there's classical music playing right now. 70 degrees. I got the organic grapefruit spray from Target. Okay, and so people walk in, it's like a spa, and I'm like, hello, good afternoon, because you never work the night times when you're an Uber driver. Okay. But what I would notice, there's simple things, and you can actually challenge yourself. One thing that was very, very simple, that was very profound for me, is I would notice when I was in LA, when I was in Hollywood, when I was in Venice Beach, when I was driving these people around from all different walks of life all over the world, is when there was a siren that went off. If I was in East LA, if I was in the hood, if I was in Hollywood, if I was around people who I could tell had been through a lot and were really like going through a challenging time, they always wanted to know where the fire truck was. They always wanted to know where the police sirens were. They always wanted to be involved in the drama. The person who was traveling the world, the international DJ, the model, the spiritually enlightened person, the people who thought differently, who hadn't experienced certain experiences, they're reading their newspaper, they're reading a book, they're listening to a podcast, they got their headphones on, they're chilling. That doesn't apply to them because they've done nothing wrong. Drop an emoji or say yes if you actually get what I'm saying within this. What you have experienced has you focus on it over and 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 over again. Right? So you can challenge yourself, if you grew up in chaos and loud noises, to actually stop and say, this doesn't apply to me, and keep it pushing and keep it walking and focusing on what am I grateful for. All right? Loops, feedback loops. Yes, absolutely. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. One of the best parts about this conversation with awareness is you start to realize the positive ripple effect. Let me tell you a quick story. When I was in LA for 4 years, 4 longest years of my life. Oh my God, I love your energy. What do you do? I love your energy. What do you do? I love your energy. What do you do? Started telling people that I did data entry so they would leave me alone. Okay? So one of the jobs that I had when I was in LA was I was a brand ambassador, meaning that you get different products, you get different supplements, you get to try cool different things. Kind of like how the TikTok shop is on here, right? Like people will tell you, try this Sheila Jeep, try this thing, get these sunglasses, buy this. Like I get crazy emails from people like all over like the world and stuff. And they're like, promote this ice cube maker. And I'm like, that has nothing, has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but I appreciate you because I've done that. Right. And so I had this supplement that is actually on the TikTok shop, and it's called Ormus, ORMUS. And I haven't tried the brand that's on here. I want to encourage you to do your research. It's natural. It's holistic. I want to encourage you to do your research, though, and really do the deep dives, especially when you're putting stuff into your body, because I'm not a doctor and I don't give medical advice, right? However, I was promoting this product at a health food store that was like the next level of Whole Foods. It's called Air One. And if you've never been to Air One, it's where all the celebrities shop, where everybody with money has, and you can see comedy skits on TikTok. Like people are like, how much is this soup? And it's like a little thing of soup. $87. I love this. How much is this avocado? $258. And it's like, it's so crazy. It's so expensive, right? So I'm going into this, I'm going into this job, and I just got this wild email, argument 27,652.3. Okay. Argument in this toxic relationship. And I stop because I have awareness. And so as I'm slowing down and stopping, I'm realizing I'm going into a space. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the taps. I'm going into a job to promote something that I'm not living right now. I'm going into a store to tell people that you can take this and that this has benefits that I am not embodying. Then I had more awareness. And let me know, put it in the comments if you're actually getting this and if you actually want to start using this and implementing this into your life. Because I have this awareness that my intention was to promote happiness, to promote awareness, to promote love, to promote joy, to promote moving forward and people being able to really do something that was transformational for them, and I wasn't living that, I thought, how many times have I been doing this in my life? How many times have I intended to be successful, but I didn't check in with my anxiety. How many times have I intended to be loved and I didn't love this person's tone of voice because I took it personally? Just having this awareness changed everything, right? So awareness is where the magic happens. And you can start to see where you're lacking awareness because other people are irritating you or there's intrusive thoughts that are showing up, even in this live stream, even in the comment sections. Like, we don't want to give these intrusive thoughts permission to be in our world anymore. You learn from them, but you watch them pass like a floating cloud. Okay? So, barriers to awareness, identifying common blocks. What typically blocks awareness? Distractions, codependency, fear, emotional overwhelm. Does this show up in your life? Say yes or call yourself out, put an emoji, comment it, tell me how this shows up in your life. How do these blocks prevent you from seeing the full picture? How do these blocks of being distracted by you're around somebody who's negative, you're around somebody who's bringing up a wound, you're around somebody who's always codependent, you're around somebody who's afraid all the time, or you're this person, you're constantly distracting yourself, or you're depending on somebody else and you're not really actively listening, or you're afraid, you want to quit the job, but then there's this fear of like, oh no, what if I let people down? How do these blocks prevent you from seeing the full picture and acting in your best interest? Are you noticing that you drain your own battery? Like when people start talking about, oh, there's energy vampires, I'm like, no, you opened the gate. If there's energy vampires in the neighborhood, guess what? My walls are made out of garlic. Okay? You know what I'm saying? I got an English bulldog who has a leash made out of silver bullets. It's really, really getting that you're giving away your power. Right, you're offering up your neck. Yeah, you're giving away your power. God, I hate people who are this way. Oh man, life is so hard. Oh, I'm struggling. I hate the economy. I never have enough money. Oh, there it is again. My car messed up. Oh, why is this person judging me? Oh, and then you go to work. And then you have coworkers and they're like, oh my God, guess what Rebecca did today at work? And you're over here doing your job that could potentially give you a raise. And you're like, let me actually focus on chaos, that I'm not going to do anything but create more of a belief that life has chaos. And I love you and I want to see if you just felt called out and know that there's nothing wrong with you. Really, really, really start to have this awareness. In the world of awareness, you want to establish boundaries to let people know that you mutually respect them. This huge awareness, write this down somewhere, okay? Because this might change your life. This is a $10,000 marketing team conversation right now I'm going to give with you. You want to let people know you respect them, but if their belief systems don't match yours, if you're not aligned, if they're constantly complaining and they're negative, you don't want to give negative people the impression that you are friends. Hello? Dad right now. This is something that our dads could have told us back in the day, but we're learning it right now because it's always divine timing. You do not, I got you. You're welcome. Thank you for trusting yourself and trusting me. You do not want to give people who are negative and disrespect you and cross your boundaries and mock you for your awakening journey and mock you for your celebrations and roll their eyes and are complaining about your choices and are bringing up fear and negativity, even if they birthed you. If you have a toxic mom, if you have a narcissistic mom who's constantly telling you, you're like, Mom, guess what? I'm going for it in life. And she's like, honey, did you moisturize? Show me the contract where I'm obligated to stop what I'm doing because you're not capable of actually healing yourself and confronting your fears, okay? You know the vibes, Molly. Let me see what JD said. My daughter hasn't talked to me in years, called me out the blue. We met up. That's huge, man. That's huge.
Did you see what else he put? He said people are coming out of the woodworks right now as soon as he changed this mindset to actually be there for him.
Yo, JD's the champion. We love JD. Huge awareness. Because JD, I could almost bet everything that I have on the fact that you were like, I'm gonna go for it. And then the universe is like, let me test JD one time and see if JD's really about this transformational journey. Drop an emoji or say yes if every single time you tell people you're like, I'm gonna focus on myself. And then all of a sudden your Aunt Janice calls you up and she's like, help, my house is on fire. You're like, why are you calling me up? I'm not a firefighter. Man. Okay. Oh. All right, so I got you. Man, that's what's up. That's what's up. And remember for JD and for everybody that when relationships in life changes, that's because you're changing. So acknowledge your change and your transformation. Okay? Word, nay, nay. If people are coming at you for the hey, what would you do in this scenario? You're like, hey, guess what? That's a good question. Link in bio. Time is energy, time is money. Okay, we can get our money comes and grows, not money comes and goes for those of you that are taking notes. Money comes and grows, okay? But time is precious. Time is precious. Okay? All right, so I got gems, man. Come on. All right, so remember this in the world of awareness. Remember this in the world of awareness. We get paid for expertise. This is what I do. I share free information. There's several people that are in this live stream right now that are booking multiple sessions with me. Emotional intelligence is it. I took everything that hurt me and I learned how to heal from it. And now I can help other people by using universal language, ancient wisdom, and helping people understand the principles of why they feel their feelings, where they learned it from, and where it stems from.
And there's consultants every day that get paid for their wisdom.
Yes.
It's just consulting.
Like, for example, J-Dub, you said, I hate being broke. You're affirming it. It's your option. It's your underlying story. I get that. That's why I do this for free. People book time with me when they get this, when they can. But don't compare your story to theirs. If you're broke right now, haven't you? What's that movie with Will Smith where he's homeless? Pursuit of Happiness. Haven't you ever seen Pursuit of Happiness? What if that's your movie? It's a good movie. I know it's easier said than done. I get it. Do you know in a parallel universe right now, because it's going to happen for me because God hears me. Do you know what I could do right now with a big investor? Through artificial intelligence and emotional intelligence, do you know what I could accomplish? Change the world right now. I could do it. Easy. Is it meant to be right now? No. Yo, easy. I could do it. I know it. Is it God's plan right now? No. Am I grateful? Absolutely. People would trade places with us. I do my best to give you transparency. You have no idea what my day was like, what my life is like. And I have no idea what your life is like. That's why we're storytellers and we're here to tell our story. So tell that guilt and that shame when I call you up to say, hey, you're not in trouble. Nikki loves you. We asked for this once upon a time. You don't know where you're going. And that's awareness. That's awareness. I do everything that I can to find the balance of this. Like, I know what life coaches normally charge, and I know that I run circles around most people in those spaces. Like, for example, therapists don't give you a report. You ever gone to therapy? I went to almost every single form of therapy. And I'm like, why are you taking notes? And then every time I show up, you ask me what's going on. Like, what are these notes? Like, what are you doing? Like, playing tic-tac-toe? I give you the notes. I've coached life coaches. They come around, they have the PDF files, they have the training and all that. I give you everything. I give you everything because I am abundance. Because I healed my wounds around needing money in order to have power. I deserve to have a homeless space. I deserve for my wife to be healthy and to feel loved and to feel nurtured. These kids that I'm raising deserve to be able to have healthy, balanced parents and a healthy family and to be able to navigate in their life through the ups and downs and the roller coaster of life and to not be intimidated. Whatever God, whatever life has planned, so it is. Thank goodness. Here we are. And when you argue with me and battle with me and call me names, thank you for teaching me lessons. Thank you for showing me that I'm insecure. Thank you for teaching me that I have room to improve when I put myself down. Thank you for the fact that I can use technology to have my notes section. Thank you that I'm in the information age. Thank you that I can learn lessons every single day of the week, every single time of the day, always. And I can focus on what's going right. That's that father wound. If you're always going on focusing on what's going wrong, and I have to punish and punish and punish. Don't do that to yourself. You're amazing. You're loved. This is it. You're going to be 80 years old, frustrated at yourself. You answer the question. You know it. You know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. I have people that are therapists that book time with me. That are licensed therapists to other people. And then at the same time, I have somebody from like a small town who's never had seasoning in their life. Carne asada tacos, guacamole, cebolla. What are you talking about? That are telling me that I shouldn't be doing this because I didn't go to Yale or Harvard. How dare you? Okay? Don't let them tell you who to be and what to be and how to be. People break the rules in powerful ways every day, baby. KSL Cebola, KSL Taco de Carne Asada. Don't say profanity in our house. Yo, my wife and I are watching this documentary about Michael Jackson's We Are the World. And this dude, they were trying to figure out what to put in this little bridge. And Stevie Wonder's talking about using different phrases from like Africa, Nigeria, something like that, right? And there's this dude in the cowboy. And I love my family from the South. I love country music. I love internationally. This dude is like, I'm a good old boy. I'm not singing any kind of Swahili words. And walks out of that space. Who is he? Don't know, never heard of him, didn't make it. Michael Jackson was like, fine. Deuces. Shimona. All right? So, like, for real, don't take life too seriously. All right? Let miserable people be miserable. I was there too. You were there too. Let people be. Let them enjoy it and bask in it and bathe in it. I love struggling and suffering. One day or day one. Okay? So let me get back to the game plan. Relationships have different goals, priorities, or perspectives. You actually might be in a relationship that is karmic, that is teaching you a lesson. Based off of what you've seen, you want to make the world a better place. This is the wildest part. You might want to make the world a better place, but then you think you're not qualified because you've struggled. Do you get this? Do you get this? Deep down inside, you want to make the world a better place, but you think you're not qualified because you don't look a certain way, because you don't dress a certain way, because you don't talk a certain way, because you don't live a certain way, because you don't have a certain amount of followers. I posted a video that I pinned years ago when I first started really getting heavy into content creation and talking about mental health and emotional intelligence, telling people, tell your story. You know what the common comment was? I can't tell my story because I'm going to make people cry. Do you know what you would do if you were counterculture and you just owned your story and owned your emotions and told people, if you don't love me, I do? And really powerfully, radically accepted that people aren't going to like you, but expected them to? When I walk into the room, everybody loves me. And if you project that you don't love me, I know that's your way of saying, Nikki, love yourself, and I love you by testing your character. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves you because they're nudging you and agitating you to step into your leadership. You think people don't relate to you? You think, 8 billion people, we all wake up and we're all like, oh, God, I'm so attractive and everything's perfect and I never argue and I love every choice and I have 1,000 friends and it's so easy for me to make friends and I never argue my relationship. You might have somebody in your life that has different priorities and different goals. If you're in a narcissistic relationship, I would love to connect with you. Tap that link in my bio. People work with me in their cars and in private spaces because you would be blown away if you heard the logic of somebody who is just mentally not connecting with you, who lacks empathy. You would realize you are talking to somebody like they're speaking like pig Latin or something like that, like a made up language. Like if you actually heard their beliefs, you would realize, you know what? I'm actually going to do my kids a favor by showing them that they don't need to accept this kind of relationship. I'm going to do myself a favor and roll the dice on myself and know that there's better people out there for me. I'm going to see what it's like to actually reclaim all of this energy and see what happens when I actually trust myself. Day one or one day. Okay? So, the more that you have awareness that people aren't respecting you or matching your journey and your intention, that's where you can start to communicate. That's where you can start to comment and get interactive more. And then you see if they love you or if they like the idea of you. Okay, so the necessity of awareness in everyday life. Critical moments for awareness is what we're talking about now. Critical moments for awareness. Awareness is crucial when you are stressed to create tools. Awareness is crucial when you are irritated starting off your day and don't even realize that there's an opportunity. Thank you, J-Dub. I appreciate you. Awareness is crucial when you already know what they're going to do. That's where you get into deep breathing. Processing. Thank you for the gifts. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you sincerely. Thank you for that. Thank you. Deep breathing is a processing machine. How many of you have decisions that you're thinking about making right now? Because here's what I want to get. I want for you to get this, and I really want for you to get this if you're going through a challenging time. Okay, good. A lot of people. Okay, so I want for you to get this. From somebody who's experienced it, from somebody who hit rock bottom, from somebody who saw the bars, from somebody who almost didn't get to see blue skies and green grasses because he was a knucklehead with father wounds and mother wounds and personal abuse and trauma down there and a lot of different stories and anger and frustration. Desperation is dangerous. Desperation is dangerous. Desperation is dangerous. If you are walking around saying, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to get the bills paid, I need to be a better mother, I need to be a better father, I need to make money, I need to pay my bills, you're missing out on opportunities that could change your life. Give you a quick story. September, before my account got over 1,000 followers in October, several years ago. And I was really, really nervous because I had just left the Bay Area because my mom had cancer at the time. She's better now, thank God. Because cancer stems really at the end of the day, the more that you start to realize that your body hears everything, cancer is your body just defeating itself because the people who created you or your family or people in your life just do not appreciate you at the most intimate part of who you are. So I leave the Bay Area, go back to New York. I have this job and I can make good money, brand ambassador, right? I can make like $30, $40 an hour depending on the company. I negotiate, I communicate my rates or whatever. Work like 3-4 hours a day, 3 to 4 days a week, decent money. I can do other things. I have time. I have flexibility. I can be an artist. I can be creative. I'm not making $100,000, but I'm making enough where I can enjoy my life and find balance, go to events and stuff like that, you know? And lockdown happens, and I start realizing that people really don't want to interact with other people. People really don't want to be around other people. People are spending differently, thinking differently. Even though I was promoting supplements that promoted mental health and promoted physical health and things of this nature, people really weren't into it, right? Company emails me and says, we love you and we appreciate you being such a good worker, but we really can't afford you. And the guidelines have changed in all these stores. And so we appreciate all your time. Gonna have to let you go. Now, I have this apartment, Flatiron District, near the Lower East Side. I don't have a job. I have just enough to pay rent. And I don't know what I'm going to do next month. I have just enough to float. Slow down, because we're desperate. You hear me? We're desperate. Identify it. What's up, Twist? Identify it. Identify that desperation, because I know desperation. They've knocked on my door before. I slow down. I stop. And I hear that quiet voice that all of us have the capability to access that says September's going to be challenging. You're barely going to make it, though. In October, everything opens up. I say, okay. All right. So I'm trusting, I'm living, I'm walking, I'm working, I'm finding balance, I'm hustling, I'm looking online, I'm strategizing, I'm in my zone. If it's chaos and it's drama, get out of my way because I don't have time to focus on that nonsense. I'm doing everything that I can to remove the fear, and whenever that fear shows up, I say, we got this, we're gonna win. I see it happening, I visualize it, I have the awareness. When fear shows up, I do something with it, I transmute it, I transform it, I focus on accomplishments that I've done, I focus on people who've loved me as I am. I start to change my brain function before I even really knew that there's a science to this, and neuroscience tells you that you can do this, that this is possible. One day I'm going downstairs. I needed to get some like milk and cereal or something like that, and some like Bustelo for those of you, ya tu sabe. Okay, so I go get my stuff downstairs. Go to the Target. Walk up to the front. The woman says, "Hi, how are you doing?" I said, I'm deep breathing, staying away from miserable people, learning to love myself more and more every single day. How about yourself? And she laughs. And she says, I'm fine. And I stared at her for a second as she was ringing up the stuff and just tuned in for a second. And I thought, there's no way that this is okay. If we just experienced one of the most life transformational, some people lost some people. My wife has long haul COVID where like she can't even taste or be around onions or garlic, different foods, coffee, chocolate, peanut butter, stuff that she used to have regularly. People are fearful. The economy changed. A lot of change. Right? This person's telling me that they're fine. Now, we've all heard this before. We've all said it before. But I stopped and I thought about it, and I didn't say anything because I'm not here to judge. I meet people where they're at. I love. And so I said, thank you. I appreciate you working today. Thank you. I really do. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And I left, got into my apartment complex, saw the doorman, opened up, had the key card, went up to the elevator, went upstairs, 11th floor. And I'm sitting there in this apartment where I used to be. This is the apartment where for years my very abusive, very toxic relationship and I'd stay. But she was in Hollywood, she was in LA focusing on her career. We took a break, we went distance, we separated, we split up. It's not working. We're exhausted, it's too much. Amicable split up, I think they call it. And so I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my laptop, processing information. And because I'm slowing down, not desperate anymore, aware, there's this feeling that's showing up that I haven't really connected with because I've been so into hustling and focusing and building and proving and resentment and anger and frustration and just going for it like a stubborn bull, just going for it. So I slow down, I stop. And I really feel a sense of loneliness, just loneliness. How can we say that we're okay? How can we pretend that this is okay? How can people smile when they're hurt? How can this world be so upside down, but people say that they have to be strong and that they're okay? How can this be? And I thought there has to be at least one other person. I can't do this anymore. There has to be one other person that feels the way that I feel. Has to be one other person. So I stop. Faith, yes. I stop. And I think, I've posted a few videos on TikTok, but it seems kind of corny and cheesy to me, but I haven't really felt confident because I feel bothered by people's opinions about me. I feel like I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to get a troll. Somebody's going to judge me. And I stop. And I say, well, let me just try it. Let me try it. Let me try it with anxiety. Let me do it afraid. Let me do it with the judgment. Let me do it anyway. Because heroes get afraid and they do it anyway. And champions are afraid and they do it anyway. Like Mike Tyson will tell you that everything that scares him, he actually confronts it and he does it. Okay? And so I post this video. I say, hey, I heard that TikTok has a great algorithm. Do you feel like there's a lot going on? Are you creative? Are you artistic? Are you spiritual? Do you feel like you get around other people, there's a lot going on, but like feels kind of crazy right now? I heard that TikTok has a great algorithm. My name's Nikki Scorpio. I'm an introvert. I'm the introvert that speaks up. I've done a lot to get here. I'm looking for like-minded people. Hit the next button. Now, right down below there in the right-hand corner, there's that post button. I hit the back button. I got to look at it. I got to review because I'm a perfectionist and I'm insecure and I'm hard on myself in this story, in this timeline, in this identity. And I look at this. I say, look at this dude's haircut. Look at this European, what is this, like a European Caesar bowl cut? Look at this dude wearing this cutoff t-shirt. You're going to post a video with gray sweatpants on and a cutoff like this? Look at this lighting. Other people have better lighting than you. Are you serious? You look crazy right now. And I stopped. And I had the awareness of my judgment. And then I stopped again and I thought, it doesn't really make sense for me to actually give attention and to want to be around people who would judge me. It actually doesn't make sense for me to be so in my head about people judging me and trolling me and making fun of me. That's actually not the kind of person that I need to give attention to. And I've been around people like that. Hit the next button. What am I going to write in here? I don't know. Blah, 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 hashtag blah, blah, blah. Went down, hit the post button, woke up with 1,000 followers. Ever since then, my life has changed. My wife, literally, God froze my wife's iPhone so that we could meet together. It was divine intervention. Couldn't have found her in New York. She couldn't have found me in Nevada. Here I am. Everything in my life has changed because of awareness. Every choice of mine has changed because of awareness. My health has gotten better because of awareness. I lost inflammation, gained weight, and my nervous system has regulated itself. I'm healthier than I've ever been. Didn't go to the gym. Didn't change my diet. Didn't sleep differently. Awareness of my thoughts, changing the emotions, changing the beliefs, questioning my beliefs, questioning my thoughts, being curious. Appreciate you, JD. Have a good night. So what my point is to say, awareness is a secret ingredient. Awareness changed everything. So what can you be more aware of? And what are people aware of in you? And maybe there's something you're not seeing within yourself. So, the more that you are able to really focus and enhance your awareness and really start to give yourself more time, slow down even more, question your thoughts even more, get out of that desperation. And let me paint a picture for you. Imagine actually enjoying your life because you're problem solving. Haven't you ever solved a problem? Haven't you ever done something and you felt better because you almost gave up or you almost didn't do it, or you asked for help but you were able to problem solve yourself, or you saw something that other people didn't? Hasn't I put everything I have that you at least once, maybe don't remember it. Imagine with your emotions. What's up, Australia? Oi, 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 oi. So imagine Imagine being able to actually build confidence, because normally you would shut down the sadness and say, sorry that I'm crying, and actually own it. And if they said, oh, you shouldn't cry, you actually say, actually, you know what? Thank you for caring about me, but my crying is helping me release my trauma because I've been through a lot. I got a story. Or this person tells you, hey, it's not a big deal. Don't be so angry. You say, actually, you know what? I'm not angry towards you. I'm actually insecure because there's something that I'm not seeing about myself. I mistranslated what you said. I'm healing this guilt wound. Has nothing to do with you. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. I apologize because I overreacted. I'm getting better at listening when people have different tones of voices that remind me of old stories that are no longer true. Imagine actually being able to connect with that childhood version of you and to see that you are a problem solver, that you are capable, that you have all the answers, that you know what you need to do, and that you understand that when you walk away from people and stop enabling their behavior, they have the opportunity to learn the lesson because, baby, this is their lifetime, not yours. You think God gave you buy one, get one free, that you're going to go down here to earth and you're going to live two people's lives or your whole entire family's lives? There's balance in this conversation, and you can do that through awareness, through emotional intelligence. Being able to have stronger relationships with people who truly get you. My wife gets me. These kids get me. They don't always get me, but they get me. My wife gets me. I have people in my life. I'm going through it. They get me. Oh, you're sad? Cool. Let me talk with you. Let's talk about it. Oh, you're angry? I've been there. Let me enhance you. Let me hold space for you. Let me actually go ahead, let it out, roar. You deserve that in your life, in your own way, in your own story. You might have some people in your life who are constantly saying that it's fake or it's stupid or you're dumb or there's baloney and you don't have any bread and you're frustrated because you're always thinking about baloney all the time. Then you get on Nikki Scorpio's live stream. You're like, baloney. You're having a Homer Simpson moment, right? But what I'm getting at, what I'm getting at is that there's a way that you can actually stop being frustrated that people don't get you. You can actually have peace with the fact that people don't get you, because the original question and the original focus of this whole entire live stream is accepting you don't know where you're going. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It does not have to be a bad thing. Word, and it's Bologna. Bologna. Named after Johnny Bologna. Okay, so if you like this conversation and you really want to start perceiving your life differently, to be around healthy relationships, to have better professional outcomes, to actually start the business or to do the thing or to break it down into smaller pieces or to actually break on through, to cross the bridge, or to just be able to see your family dynamics or having a relationship or being single, whatever it is, through a different lens. So you're not subconsciously walking around with everybody that I love leaves me. Nobody listens to me. Nothing ever works out for me. What's the point? Life's not fair. Stuff that you would never even call out within yourself. That's where you can actually identify you've been carrying this story like it's a pea coat and you're in springtime right now. Travel light. Travel light. Okay, so if you're ready to have this conversation, I got a deal going on. Normally $125 after all this information, all these gems, all this knowledge that I've given to you for free, that normally people charge money for. If you want to do the deep dive and really reinterpret your story, your self-concept. If you feel like you are sewn together with your mother, you are attached with your dad, you are still emotionally connected to people who do not get you, and you want to be able to see where, why, how, what, when this story stems from. All this surface level stuff isn't going to connect with you until you identify the roots. When you go to the roots, then you actually learn and you can embrace and receive all of it. You build your confidence. You build resilience. You build trust. You find it within yourself. You have all the answers. Sometimes we just require a guide or somebody who sees us and can identify, hey, I hear you. I hear you. I noticed it when you were talking about something that was challenging for you, that you smiled, and maybe you've learned how to do that. Nobody's judging you. You're safe. See if you can slow down and take a breath, because I've definitely done this too before. I get that. Nobody's judging you. See if you can slow down. You're safe. You're loved. What's underneath that story? Or, hey, I'm noticing that you said obviously a couple different times. Have you felt like in your life you get irritated by other people and you keep on looking at them like, why aren't you doing that? And you're frustrated by them? What was a time in your life where somebody dimmed your light, or you learned that you had to dim your light in order for your parents to actually be somewhat accountable? Maybe there's actually a reason why all this stuff happened. And I'm telling you from my experience and everybody that I work with from all age groups, from all around the world, when you really give more attention to learning the emotion, to learning the lesson, to learning what it's connected to, everything else around career and family opens up and blossoms and is amazing. And it's not my way. I want for you to be more you. It took me a while, 39 years old, it took me a while to learn my story and the significance of my story, and I hated my story. And maybe you're like me. Maybe you know you're a storyteller. And maybe parts of your identity are not working to where you actually want to go. And if you're in a toxic relationship, the person that you're meant to be with forever, that really gets you, is going to want to work it out with you, is going to want to communicate with you. You do not have to battle in love. You do not have to battle to prove. You do not need to battle to get love. And at the root, that childhood version of you does not need to fix your dad. You do not need to fix your mom. That's not yours. And the last thing that I'm gonna leave you with, if that's connecting with you at all, now that I'm a parent, parents want for you to win, but they don't know what your journey is going to look like on that road to your victory. For real. Parents don't know. Imagine having this beautiful diamond and you've never had a diamond in your life, and the whole entire world is looking at your diamond. It's scary. It's confronting. Okay? I love you. I appreciate you. Be kind to yourself. So, $75 instead of $125 for an hour, $50 off if you're a deal person. You and I are going to talk, safe space, judgment free. We can do Zoom call if you want to do phone call because you don't want to be on camera. Totally respect your boundaries. Then I'm going to show you all the depths of emotional intelligence, where this story physically shows up in your body, why you feel this guilt or this shame, why you feel that you are intuitive but it's blocked, why you keep on attracting these relationships, what's the root of the story. Then from there, there's a special deal for those of you who are like, I am really driven and I'm motivated. I might have everything else figured out in my life, but I want to learn the blind spots. I want to do the deep dives. I want to see what's underneath. And also, if you want to be able to read other people and see this within other people, and you really want to get into leadership because you see people are losing their stuff and you're like, I've always felt a purpose in this world and I can do something and I want to put my chips on myself and gamble on myself, there's 5 different classes that we're going to work through together, and we're really going to break this down. Really excited about this. The first class after you work with me for this $75 deal where it's $50 off, afterwards, I'm going to give you the report and give you the details, all the good stuff so that you're informed and you have tools and you have strategies and you have affirmations and you have awareness to move forward. Then from there, we're going to do the deep dive on awareness, how it affects you, where you can get better at awareness, where you are super aware, where other people don't appreciate and respect your awareness, how to shift your perspective and how to navigate and communicate in those kind of spaces when people don't respect your awareness. The second class, the second session, just us, just you and I, is going to be about self-regulation. Instead of you thinking your husband, your wife, your mom, your dad, your coworkers, your boss should acknowledge you and love you, you're going to learn how to regulate your emotions, your nervous system. You're going to learn how to speak to yourself, how you want to be spoken. Then you're going to assess if people respect you. And instead of being an employee, you're going to be a boss. You're going to be a leader, and you're going to learn how to lead yourself. And you're going to be a problem-solving machine, solution-based instead of problem-based. Let go of that guilt, travel light. The third session is going to be focusing on motivation. Maybe you haven't been motivated in a while. Maybe you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, but you're just doing it and you're on cruise control and you think this is as good as it gets. And you keep on, oh, I kind of got a little bit of money, but then it goes away. Oh, I'm kind of feeling good, but then this person comes around. Oh, I'm kind of loving myself, but then somebody says something, then you block all your momentum. Oh, I'm such a great mother or a great father. And then something happens to your kids. And you're like, I'm terrible and I suck. And this person told me that. Find balance, move past the chaos. The next session is going to be on empathy. Maybe there's people in your life who are jerks, who are insecure, who are toxic, who are narcissistic, or whatever the story is, and you can actually see the other side. I can talk to a CEO worth $10 billion and bring them back to when they were 8 years old and they were mentally and emotionally neglected. And we can have an equal conversation instead of this megalomaniac trying to put power over me because his dad never took care of him or whatever the story is. And you can do this with love. You can do this with compassion. And you can do this in your own authentic way. And then the last session is going to be on social skills. I'm going to teach you how to actually listen to your language and how it categorically creates beliefs. I'm going to show you how to do this within other people. I'm going to show you how to read people's body language. So when people do this and 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 that, and they do a lot of that, you're going to be able to have an understanding. You're going to be able to read people better and to have more compassion, to have more empathy, to navigate conversations, to stop wasting your time and depleting yourself and self-sabotaging just to say, there it is again, I don't have any energy. If you like this conversation, tap that link, get that 1 hour session with me. I'm really looking forward to connecting with you. And remember, it is your story. It's not my way. Other people who are influencers and life coaches and therapists and a lot of other people in this world, even people who are promoting you can be rich, you can be wealthy, law of attraction. It's always do it their way. That's not what I'm about. I want for you to actually identify you've taken on a lot of people's beliefs in your life saying, do it my way, do it my way, do it my way. There is a rooted identity within who you are that got shamed, that got attacked. But here's the shift. Everything that you don't like has built your character. When you learn how to shift your perspective and your belief, and you get how neural pathways, how the cognition, how your mental function, how your brain works, how that creates a story, how that creates the emotion, then when you learn how to change it, sky's the limit. All right. So tap that link in my bio. Again, it's a top link. You're going to see that it's a discounted session. If you are a deal person and you got a lot to unpack, I'm really looking forward to connecting with you. And remember, you're the storyteller. Let them tell their story about you. It's your story. It's your movie. Imagine me coming into a movie theater and telling people what this movie is about when it's not about that. And maybe you've put so many other people's needs before yours that you lack that confidence. Like I tell people, imagine a rocket scientist being like, yeah, so I kind of designed a rocket and it can kind of, when you push the button, it goes, and then like the rocket goes up into the sky and it kind of launches and it goes like kind of fast. And maybe if it's okay, it goes into outer space. And we can travel, I guess we can travel around the universe. Like, it's a rocket. It goes, this is what it is. It's the XKG 3000. It costs $25 billion in order for me to make it. It has a time machine in it. Like, own your story. Own your story. Reconnect with that child. Being an adult can be intense. It can be frustrating. It can be depressing because you're repeating your mom's and your dad's relationship. It's time for you to respect that they gave you that map. Let that map go. Thank you. And really identify a lot of the reason why it's challenging for you to take that leap is because if you stop being strong or stop shutting down and not trusting people, if you actually have to open up again, you might feel that feeling. I got good news for you, though. When you feel the feeling and you review it and you change it, like Kobe or Michael watching the old basketball games and they would be a better basketball player after they played it. You disempower that old story. That's where you get peace. All right. I love you. Be so kind to yourself. So thank you for those of you who continue to book time with me. And thank you for those of you who've been on this live stream tonight. If you have any questions, you can definitely directly message me directly with your message. What's the question? What's your curiosity? Okay. I get a lot of messages, so I don't respond to people who share random videos or say, "Hey, beautiful soul, it all started on a Tuesday. I want for you to practice." Remember, we're equals. I don't have time to judge you, but if you're interested, I love working with people who are determined, and that's where you and I can create that breakthrough. All right. In 10, I love you. Thank you, Paytay. 9, love yourself. 8, unconditionally. 7, no asterisk. 6, some people in your life have intentions and you're not getting their intentions. And when you understand their intentions, you can stop judging them by their actions and start listening to them based off of their intentions. 5, thank you, J-Dub. 5, thank you, everybody, for being here. 5, I created this deal because I really, really wanted to celebrate you. And if you're ready to celebrate yourself, I really want for you to tap that link and we can work together. I'm so grateful. And I want to tell you, from somebody who came from poverty, from somebody who was the victim, from somebody who struggled, from somebody who's been around so much wealth and prosperity and traveled in so many different stories, what I've realized is it's you, and it's always, always, always you. So if you are tired of other people not celebrating you, they might actually be the house of mirrors, the illusion that you think that's as good as it gets. And I'm telling you, I get that. But if you are in any way, shape, or form just a little bit more aware and a little bit more interested, I would love to connect with you, because that part of you that knows that you're meant for more, it changes when you actually take that leap that scares the living daylights out of you. Okay? 4, see if you can be more interested and more curious in this coming week instead of reacting or shutting down. 3, anybody who puts you down at your job, in your personal life, has their own war going on. Doesn't mean that you need to battle with them. 2, nobody on planet Earth knows what they're doing. Everybody's telling you how to do it. So trust yourself, because 1, what's up, D-Bear? Nice to see you. 1 is you. It's always been you. It's always going to be you. So see if you can actually make healthier changes. Start off with simple awarenesses of just, what am I feeling? A simple awareness you can have is, I was just in one mood and then things changed and then my mood changed. Why is that? Want to find out the deep dive? Tap that link. Thank you. I love you. Have a good night. And for my international family, have a good day. Deep breaths. You got this. Thank you. Lots of love. Take care.